Roll call.
Mrs. Stelly?
Here.
Mr. Palone?
Here.
Mr. Sirianni?
Yes.
Dr. Stelly? Here. Mrs. Billings?
Here.
And I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspapers in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the post is required by law.
Thank you. Our first thing on our agenda is going to be a presentation regarding Ocean Gate Apartments by Mr. Montefort and Mr. Ergo. And Mr. McCann.
Good evening, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Madam President,
Okay.
I just have, by way of disclosure, our firm does represent one of the principals of this project, and as a result, I'm going to recuse myself, and I'm going to leave the room during this presentation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Charles Avery will be doing the presentation on
Okay.
behalf of Ocean Gate, and we'll start with Charles.
Okay.
I think you also have a handout already, pamphlet
Sure.
that Mr. Avery passed out.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for hearing us tonight. I understand we have a limited amount of time, so a friend of mine always says to use the 5 Bs. It's be brief, brother, be brief. So I'm going to be very brief. This is a aerial view of our property. It's outlined in red. What we've done is put the photographs on each direction of our site. One is the on Long Branch Avenue, the environmental problem. This is Seaview Avenue. Of course, this is Ocean Boulevard. And this is Monmouth Rubber, which puts us, we're up against them on the south side. So we are a developer that for the last 40 years or so has been a single-family residential developer. We've built upwards of 4,000 units over time. We're based in Colts Neck. We have the same office we've been in for since the late 70s. So we've always kept our overhead low. And since the market changed, we have gone into the apartment development business. And so I wanted to just go through a couple of redevelopments. We are redevelopers in many towns in New Jersey. We're in Carteret. We're about to be in Linden. We've been in Franklin Township, which is outside of New Brunswick. We're in Boundbrook currently now. So I wanted to show you what we've done so that you know that when we start something, we finish, and we finish it what we consider pretty well. This was a project we had purchased in Boundbrook. It's 144 units of apartments. This is the way we purchased it. It just had the structured parking down below. The rest of the building had been built at one time and it was burned down by some kids. But so this is the beginning of the project. And then this is what it looks like when we're just about finished with it, and what we've done with the entrance and changed the whole complexion. And now where we are is we're finishing the last 96 units down at the end here. So this is a current picture. So you can see the transformation that we've done in Boundbrook. In your package is a letter from Boundbrook stating that we have complied with everything in the town in which we're the redeveloper. In Franklin Township, this is the property. Again, it was another failed project. This was 106 townhomes. This is the way it looked when we purchased it. All of these pictures, by the way, are in your pamphlet, the handout. This is the project while it's undergoing construction. And these were for sale units. And they've been all sold and closed. We started it and closed it, finished it in 2 years. This is the final product in Franklin Township. Also in your package is some commendations that we've received from Franklin Township, from their redevelopment agency. There's a newspaper clipping in there. Just to, as redevelopers, we're pretty proud of the work that we do, and we're pretty proud of the transformation that we give to the surrounding communities. The last piece in your package is a brochure for our Boundbrook apartment complex so that you can see, there's photos of the interior so you can see the quality of work that we do. And we're going to take the same product of sorts, and just the finishers are going to be doing a nice job. We're proud of our work, and we're going to enhance it with a great deal of amenities. I didn't know if anybody has any questions of me as the developer, or what we're going to do there, what we have done.
No, I think we're good, thank you.
Mr. Montefiore?
Okay, I'm going to try and make this brief. It's a very large piece of property. We're hoping that we can kick off the west side of Ocean Boulevard and start generating some great development on this side of the street. Everything's been happening on the ocean side, which is great. So we're hoping that our project brings a little energy to this side of the boulevard. So what we're proposing is 181 units. All of the, most 90% of the parking is structured underneath two plazas, this large plaza here and underneath these units over here. Some of our design concept is to kind of take this intersection and create this square that you pull in off of Cooper at the bottom here. This is the Cooper intersection. So we're realigning Cooper, so it's kind of an S-your way through Cooper. And there's a beautiful landscape garden square in the middle. And then to the north, to the south of that will be our clubhouse, which will be linked to another series of buildings with a gazebo piece there. And as you come around, we've created this boulevard along Cooper with it's kind of a multi-level boulevard street where Cooper is going to be running in one way in this direction, and it'll be a little higher on this side. It'll be all landscaped out to kind of create this buffer of intensity from our project to the single-family residences. And then as you come back along the other way, we have parking on the street on the upper side. And then here you can see you drive underneath these units, there's parking underneath, and then you come around the back and out on this side. Then what we've done we've taken this square concept and we moved it over to our project so that it's like a series of these squares along Ocean Boulevard. And we feel that it creates a U shape, it opens up the boulevard, and it also complements what's happening across the street. So if you want to, in essence of the scale, you can see we're just about this, we're actually our big buildings, not quite the size of both the beachfront north buildings. The only thing I think that we have over them is you can see they have a lot of parking here, and we don't have any. We have our parking is concealed underneath. Also, a nice feature we're doing is as you go up Whitmer, we tried to take into consideration the scale of the homes in the back. So we have a series of 3-story units in the back, and then there's an open courtyard, and then we go to our 4-story building. So our buildings are 4 stories above parking for the most part. They're all wood construction. And then to the north of this would be phase 1. This is planning on being developed first, and then phase 2 is to the north of that, which would have 12 additional units. So I'll walk you through some of the architecture. I know it's big, I got a little overzealous, I don't know, thinking I couldn't get it in my car, I had to cut some off of it.
Why didn't you buy a new car?
I was thinking about that.
A big car. A big car is not bad.
So this is a view of, as you travel west on Cooper. So you have our clubhouse and then this covered gazebo area that connects these two buildings. And then these are pods of buildings, there's a buildings that are stacked here. Then there's a bridgeway, and then there's another series unit, and then a bridgeway, and another series. So the streetscape goes in and out as you go down the street, and the parking is underneath this level. You can see we're terracing the streets down and terracing the yards back up again. And from Ocean Boulevard, we are working on 3D presentation to really help get an understanding of this, but the darker buildings would be the ones that are forward of the square, and then you go back into the square, fully landscaped square, with the parking underneath. This is Ocean Boulevard elevation, so we're up about 6-7 feet from Ocean Boulevard, all bermed up, nothing seen. And then this is our main entrance, which is in line with the Cooper intersection. So when you look down the street of Cooper, we have our own little tower here with a main entranceway, and it's glass on both sides. So appear to be all the way through the building at that portion. And then I just prepared this sketch to show, this is a section through the building east-west, and it shows this is the Whitmer side, and you can see how we have the 3-story units here, and then there's the courtyard, and then we go to the 4-story units, and then it opens out again into the other courtyard with parking underneath and the berm coming down. So the only other thing
Clubhouse amenities, Jim?
clubhouse amenities are your usual pool, game room. There's a real estate office there for leasing the apartments, and
Wellness? A wellness center?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then the only last exhibit we have is this is a exhibit to show you what the properties that we own and their square footages and what we yield, and then the additional streets that we're looking to use for your consideration for square footages for our FAR bonus. So that whole thing is spread out over here. So if you look at what we have our actual property will yield 84 units, and then we're looking for your consideration to do the improvements to get to 181 units. 181 units.
Rental or townhouses?
These are all going to be owned by the developer. So we'll be cared for by the developer, and they will own their apartment units.
How many parking spots have you allocated?
We have 279 spaces structured in the building. We have 24 surface spots within our property, and then there's 70 on-street parking spaces. We have 373 spaces we're required to have 362. So that's my brief explanation of what we're asking for tonight.
Any questions from anyone? Michael? You good, John? Julie? No? Mary Jane?
I'm okay.
Okay, we're good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna have to leave. I felt like we bonded. I'm with you. You don't hear this anymore, do you? Yes. They picked it up on the camera.
Didn't it look like she was thinking this? Yeah, that's all. I was
Most of the stuff
Okay, at this time, our second item is the Boardwalk update. Mr. Migliaccio, Mr. Woolley, and Mr. Woolley has, for those of you that didn't see it, this is the video that the gentleman from Monmouth Beach did that was on Facebook, and it's also on our webpage that shows how much they have completed of the Boardwalk.
This is a couple of weeks old, right? I think it's about 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old. They're doing milling on the roadway now.
We'll pave tomorrow.
You're paving the road, right? You're already
Base
done?
paving. Base paving. It'll get
But do they
it-
have the pipe all in, right?
Yes.
The water pipes in?
Water pipes in. And you can, you put the undercoat, there's a kind of a coarser asphalt that they put down first before they put the finer asphalt on top. It's called the top coat. So they cleaned this off, they cleaned it
Look at that person walking on the sidewalk.
legally.
Illegally.
Beautiful.
But you can see from this video with all the stuff that's on the boardwalk, why we don't want people on it, because
It's a hazard.
they're trip and fall hazards galore. Here's another one. This really looks phenomenal, I think.
So how far are they now? You said this was 2 weeks ago, so
Yeah,
they're
they're up,
probably almost
they're
to
up
the end?
beyond, the decking is halfway between North Bath and Pavilion.
Which is
They're right up about
right around here.
where those
Oh,
people are
really?
walking, that's about where they're at now, as
Wow.
of today. And the railing is complete to North Bath.
Where's the part that it goes from 16 to 20?
This is 20 now.
Okay.
We already made that north bath transition. North or south?
What's that?
Where
Go
it
from
widens.
16 to 20.
North.
Great job, Fred. Where'd you land?
They really done a lot.
Freddie had his leather helmet, his goggles on when he
I was, yeah, I-
What do you call it?
Look like Snoopy, huh?
Do we
He
know
had,
if
he
we,
had a lot of lights on the plate, too.
Yeah, he did.
have we kind of controlled the people walking on it? That was a problem? Is it better?
I haven't heard any complaints. Jay, we got any more? I haven't heard anything.
No, I haven't heard any more complaints.
You know, the guy stopped me today. They came running after me.
Good.
So that, I
It's
said,
not
you're doing your
perfect,
job,
but
that's
it's
good.
better.
It's better, okay, good. And we do have a meeting Thursday morning.
Meeting
with
Thursday
Lawrence.
morning, yes. The buildings are progressing along. The finishes are complete. I think at West End, they're working on cottage finishes. And they're waiting for the roof guy to come in to put the shingles on. Once that's closed in, they're also waiting for the flashing before they put the windows in, so that should be any time this week. Then they can get these things closed in. Once they get them closed in, then they can power them up and then power the lights up. But that's about it. Everything else is pretty much just progressing along.
Any questions? No? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Review of the regular meeting agenda. Anyone have any questions regarding the regular meeting agenda?
I thought it was
Michael? John? Joy? Mary Jane? Okay, I need a motion to close the workshop portion of this meeting. All in favor? I need a motion to adopt a resolution to go into executive session for the following items. Contract negotiations, peer update, FEM, Ocean Gate Apartments, litigation, Kelly and Lepore, personnel matters, CWA negotiations, and reappointment of zoning board members.
Busy down there?
Second.
Roll call?
No, we sold it.
Mrs. Bastelli? Yes. Mr. Palone? Mr. Siriani? Dr. Selly?